Welcome to the interview session with Dr. Mrs. ETENG'S, the author of a new book titled The Call. What inspired you to write this book?
Writing this book for me is like answering my own call too. Okay?
Wow.
Yes, because sometime last year, it really dawned on me that a lot of young people just want, you hear them say, I want to hammer. They're waiting for a very big event. They want to feel like, especially Christian boys want to feel like, I'm called to be pastor, I'm called into this, I'm called into that. And for me, God has a purpose for every one of us. And it doesn't need to be, in the fivefold ministry and all of that big thing. You have to be a pastor and all that. It's just realizing that there is something you can uniquely do. There is something that God expects you to do. So sometime last year, it really, came like a strong conviction that it's time to let people know that you can just be yourself. Realize that you're called of God and fulfill your purpose by doing very simple things. So this book is about a young girl who is called to write.
Is it inspired by true events? What's the idea around it?
First of all, this is a fiction book. It's Christian fiction.
Okay.
But I'd like to mention ahead of time that several characters are the real people. For instance, my secondary school principal, she's answering her name. My English teacher in secondary school, Miss Rita Day, she still answers her name. Every other character is fictitious. Even though the story is based on real life experiences, my experiences, other people's experiences close to me, all of these just nicely and beautifully woven together. Yes.
That's beautiful. What kind of books did you read that inspired you to write this?
Thank you so much for the question. First of all, I like to say that growing up, I used to read everything. Like everything, but when I became a Christian child, I realized that I need to know what goes into my mind. So I tended more towards Christian literature. Several people have really inspired me. Karen Kingsbury is top on the list.
Wow.
I've read so many of her books. I have them in my house. I've read the Baxter Family series from, the Redemption series to Family, to Found, to Fame, to Forever, and it goes on and on. I just love her simplicity and the way she still talks about God. She still expresses the fact that you can have a good story and God will be honored. I also have Fancy Rivers to thank. I've read a few of her redemption stories. Wow, beautiful. So I like the way she captivates her readers and she still comes out as a Christian author. I also like Jerry Jenkins. He's actually my online coach.
Oh, wow.
So yes, he authored the series, the End Time series, the Left Behind series with Tim Lai many years, and it was a big hit. And I've also read several of his books. After that, I've read Silence. I should have even brought some of them here. So I like the way he explains very difficult concepts in scriptures, maybe the second coming, the judgment, in very simple ways, in stories that people can relate. So these were people that, made me realize that you can talk about purpose, you can talk about receiving a call from God in very simple ways, using very simple illustrations, and people can relate with this story.
What advice do you have for upcoming writers like myself?
Beautiful question again. Thank you so much. Now, first of all, so many people are talented. I got to realize that what you need is courage.
Okay.
We're talking about my words to upcoming authors. You need to know that if God is on your side, and of course I'm a Christian author, so I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. So you need to know that if God has called you to write, and if you're writing to honor Him, then He's got your back. So self-doubts would come. Those are things that would naturally want to come. Oh, am I good enough to do this? Would people ever read me? And all that. And also, I have a solid team. And this is a shout out to everyone, my team. I have editors. My first daughter, was my first editor. Alice, if you're watching this, shout out to you. And then Chineye, my assistant, she's in France. She edited the book. And then I had to get, a professional editor too. Udoak Voice, she works for Voice of Africa. She's a journalist. She's a writer, So you get people that know a bit more than you in areas that you need help with. and bring them to your team. That will give you some more, to make you relax a bit more, knowing that, people are handling, stuff for you. I have a lawyer in my team. My other daughter is a lawyer. I have people that, are doing their work. The guy on the camera is my son, and he does all the tech things. So just get a team of people. There's someone handling, the website and all of that. So get people that you can depend on and just flow, just relax. Yeah, talking about writer's block, yes. There were times that I got stuck because naturally I had a lot to say. This is a book that on A4 already is about 280 pages. Oh. So there was a lot to talk about. But then I realized that you have to know what is most important, what comes in first. You still want to bring in all your literary skills, you want to do your flashbacks. So you have to find a balance between just telling a story and telling it nicely and beautifully. Beautiful. So that's what I can say.
When is the launch of this book happening?
Okay, so the launch for this book is on the 9th of July. Okay. And it's happening in CBCCI number 172 Goldie Street. Okay, and it's happening by 12 noon. We have a website. It's going to be up in the next 1 week. Shout out to Danny if you ever get to watch this. Okay, so ETENG'S.com. It's the website. So you're going to have access to soft copies, hard copies in different places. So, but first of all, please come for the launch. It's not just going to be an orthodox launch. We're going to have a lot of things to spice up the day. I'm going to have my friend recite her poetry. She's coming all the way from another state. Wow. If you ever get to say this, I love you. You're the best friend ever. Okay, we're going to have people sing. We're going to have the classical choir and the Christian. So it's just a time out that we just want to sit down and love the Lord and also appreciate the book. So please come on. Come on.
Like, this is from author to the reader before they actually get to read the books. What impact should they expect that your book should make on their lives?
You're going to hear the voice of God behind every page of this book. You're going to love the story. You're going to be captivated. You're going to see suspense. You're going to see, all of the literary things that you expect to see in a good book, at their best. It may be my first, but it's a beautiful book. So this book is going to be captivating, it's going to be entertaining, and it's going to be spirit-filled. I promise you, you do not be a waste of time.
Thank you so much. Thank you for engaging with us. See ya.